Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Thursday evening. Hope everybody's having a great night so far. Lovely to have you all in for another episode of the Prime Time Show. Last show before the preseason game up at Chicago, Thursday night. Friday evening, I will be heading up to Chicago to cover this game for you on Saturday. We'll have a lot of observations. You can read all of them at A to Z Sports Nashville.com, A to Z Sports.com. I can't believe I still call it A to Z Sports Nashville.com. That's how long I've been working for this damn company. A to Z Sports.com is where you can read all of the practice and preseason observations that we will have. Sam Phelan and I will both be up there, so you'll get plenty of good coverage from Chi-Town. We are going to talk about which quarterback this team should start, though, and there's a lot of discussion as to who you would rather see. We'll also get into the idea of which players are you most excited to see in the preseason and wrap things up with a weekend bounce back, because that's what we do around here. Before we get started, need you guys to share this show around wherever it is that you're consuming us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. You can retweet the show. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen is where you do so. For all your Twitter friends, Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube or on Twitch, please subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video, tell a friend to do the same if you've already done your due diligence and done so for us this evening. We appreciate each and every one of you who share this show around. We just like hanging out with you, and we want to hang out with more of your friends because there's a lot of Titans discussion to have and a lot more football starting Saturday that we get to break down. Let's go ahead and get this thing started for the final time on our primetime week. Welcome into A to Z Sports Primetime on this Thursday evening. I'm your host, Buck Rising. I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the wonderful people at the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, that's what Amanda J. and her crew provide to you. AmandaJGentry.com is where you go for all of your constitutional rights that you need to be buttoned up on. Of course, TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch, the best way to work out, a new way to work out for the new you. TrueMathFitness.com is where you go to find out about all their great membership options. Your first workout is free as a Middle Tennessee resident at TrueMath Fitness, conveniently located in downtown Nashville in the Gulch. So the quarterback plan for the Titans. We talked to Mike Vrabel pre-practice on Thursday. We talked to Terrell Williams, who is the acting head coach for this preseason game, the assistant head coach for the Titans this year, but the acting head coach for Saturday. Neither of those gentlemen decided to disclose to us who they had decided would start on Saturday. Got a pretty good idea of who it will be, but I'd like to pose that question to you all on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Your Two Rivers Ford take. Which quarterback would you start for the Titans on Saturday? This is something that I think, is going to be polarizing. We know that Will Levis and Malik Willis, we understand kind of the situation that these two players are in. It's a pretty unique situation, right? We're a long way removed from the days of Matt Barkley competing with Logan Woodside to be the Titans' backup. These are two quarterbacks who have a lot to prove, I think, in their own individual right, and who will have the opportunity to do so in their first live game action of the season. You're going to hear from both of these guys. We've had the opportunity to have both of them on the radio show while we've been doing the training camp broadcast. Today on the radio show was Kevin Byard. I thought KB is always excellent. But we really had a good conversation between he and I today, so you can check that out. But Levis and Willis also talked to them about a couple of different things about where they are in their respective training camp progress ahead of this preseason. Now, I know a lot of people are going to side with Levis, right? The idea that Will Levis is the second round pick, that he is the second round pick of this year's general manager, not the general manager who was previously responsible for roster construction, such as drafting Malik Willis, and that Will Levis, by percentage chance, not necessarily because of anything that he's done in training camp, But by percentage chance, one would, it's not a stretch or a hot take to say that Will Levis is more likely to be the Titans starting quarterback in the future, not just this season, but in years beyond, than is Malik Willis right now. So I think that there might be a portion of you who just want to see your second round pick play. Many of you who are tied up in the idea of him being future of the franchise, I would tell you to kind of take 10 deep breaths or 20 short ones, whatever helps you regulate your heart rate a little better, and say many of you were talking about Malik Willis as the future of the franchise last year too, and that is, obviously those circumstances are very, very much subject to change. So it's your Two Rivers Ford take in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Which quarterback would you rather see start on Saturday in Chicago? We'll talk about it together right after I remind you that your Two Rivers Ford take is made possible by the wonderful people at Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, 40 years of quality American-made Ford vehicles, award-winning customer service, a brand name that you know that you can trust. DeAndre Hopkins is officially a member of the Two Rivers Ford team. Saw him sign up with Two Rivers yesterday. Myself, Don Davenport, Ramon Foster, so many great people get their vehicles at Two Rivers Ford. We are all customers at Two Rivers. I love my 2022 Ford Explorer XLT. It is, I've only had two cars in my life, but by far and away, no offense to my first car, Sugar, my Ford Escape, but my Ford Explorer Sugar 2 is the best vehicle that I've ever driven in my life. Not only because it's an awesome vehicle, but because I got award-winning customer service and no pressure throughout the course of the car buying experience, no pressure at all from their non-commissioned sales staff. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So which quarterback would you rather see start on Saturday? So I totally get the argument for Levis. I understand that Will Levis is more likely to be the future of the franchise, not guaranteed. Malik certainly wasn't either. But Will Levis has a better percentage chance of taking this job over from Ryan Tannehill at whatever point Ryan Tannehill ceases to be the Titans starting quarterback. It's possible that Ryan Tannehill plays so above and beyond this year that he earns a third contract here or a chance at another contract here. I think it would be his third NFL contract, but his second here in Tennessee. So I think that Ryan Tannehill should not be discounted from being a more short-term future of the Titans quarterback position. I think he's miles. He didn't have a good day at practice today. Weather conditions were not ideal, but objectively not Ryan Tannehill's best practice by any stretch of the imagination. I would say that beyond that, he has been head and shoulders above Malik Willis and Will Levis, and it's not at all close. Now, that's not a bad thing for those two guys to continue to be in a developmental stage. You understand that these two dudes are going to try to compete to the best of their abilities and work with this coaching staff and try and earn the opportunity to be a starting quarterback for this team, or in the case of Malik, potentially another team at some point in his NFL career. But I think right now, if you were asking me where I would go, I would say that the answer is Malik Willis. And I will explain to you, I won't explain it to you. I'll play this clip from the radio show where I was talking to Malik about the strides that he's made from year one to year two and how much better of command of what he's being asked to do the Titans' current backup quarterback has right now. Like, was there a certain point in time that in particular clicked for you in your rookie season that you kind of understood where they were going with the messaging on that?
I understood the whole time, but as I was saying, I came from an offense where we weren't as much under the center. We weren't as much in the huddle, having 10-word plays. We weren't doing that, so I had to get used to doing that. I had to learn to speak that language. I had to take just every aspect of the NFL game and try to apply it to my game, and didn't have enough time to do it successfully last year, but I'm not going to blame it on that. Just got to work harder, and that's what I did this offseason. So.
Well, it's a whole new season, and that's the beauty of it. Obviously you take lessons from those reps and things like that, as anybody does. But at this point, it feels like a fresh slate for everybody who's coming in who, might have had their rookie season, like Kyle and Traylon, derailed for injury, or all the different injury situations that you guys had to work through and different circumstances that you felt like your class was particularly thrust into maybe before you might have been ready. But I mean, the value of those live game reps, there's really no other way to simulate. I know preseason is as close as you can get, but like to have those starts under your belt at this point, everything else has to feel like just a lot smoother from this point on, yeah?
Yeah, it's almost no more surprises.
Sure.
Been in late games, been in games we went in overtime, seen games from the sideline with Ryan. We go up big, we go down big, try to how to bounce back. Just all those different scenarios and situations, and more than anything, that's situational football. I think that's the most important thing that we needed to work on, well, myself, outside of just first and second down ball, third downs, and situational football, because that's what the difference is in this league, third downs and situational football, those critical situations, and those one plays that change the game's outcome, yeah.
Titans quarterback Malik Willis. So that's Malik Willis speaking with me on the radio show on Monday. You can go check out that full interview if you so choose, where we've done all of our Titans player interviews so far this camp. Quick reminder that the Primetime Show is made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com and get your dream address without the stress. The Intel edge that you need to succeed can be found at GaryAshton.com. But I think that situational football stuff that Malik was talking about is so critically important for him to have a grasp on at this point in his career. And I think you've seen some of that development. Now, just to kind of go through how the quarterbacks have handled this. So not today at practice, but on Tuesday, just an example of situational football, right? All three quarterbacks had the same scenario. So it's a minute 10 left on the clock. Ball at the 25, field goal. You need a field goal to tie or to win, one timeout remaining. So that was the situation that all three quarterbacks were presented with. Willis, and I'm reading from Jimmy Wyatt's practice notes, Willis moved up in the pocket to complete a pass to Mason Kinsey on the first play before connecting with receiver Colton Dow and tight end Josh Wiley. Then came a strike downfield to receiver Reggie Robertson, roughly 25 yards in the air. After Willis spiked the ball, kicker Trey Wolf came in on the field goal and made his 33-yard attempt. Mission accomplished for Willis and the number 2 offense. Jimmy had Willis 8 of 15 for the day, 56 of 99 in 7-on-7 and team periods combined. So that and that was after Tuesday's practice. Today's situational football was a little different. For those of you who watched or listened to the 615 Sessions podcast earlier today with Joe Rexrode, we kind of outlined what was different about the situational football drills for the quarterbacks today. I didn't think any of the Malik Willis threw an interception. Tannehill threw an interception today as well to McCreary. Can't remember the depth DB that picked off Willis. But either way, like they're going to have moments where they thrive. They're going to have moments where they struggle. And you'd rather those moments happen in training camp than in live game or preseason reps. Now, preseason, obviously not the worst thing, but, you're looking to produce in preseason. And Malik is going to need to produce in preseason to kind of continue to solidify this job. He's a backup quarterback. And I would, I don't have any reporting on this to say like definitively that Malik Willis will be the starting quarterback on Saturday, but I am almost without I would say a 95% chance that Malik Willis is the starting quarterback for the Titans when they take the field against the Bears. Now, I don't know that he'll start the entire first half. I don't know if they'll do Malik starts the first series, Levis gets the second series. They've done all these different kind of things, right? But, if as long as he's second on the depth chart, I expect that to be the backup quarterback. And as I mentioned earlier, there's not nearly enough to separate those two guys for Levis to have overtaken Willis in any shape or form right now. Let's talk about players that we're most excited to see play in this preseason, though, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Give me your answer in the comment section, and we will discuss at length together right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is presented by TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com, get your first workout free, get a new way to work out and a new you. TrueMath Fitness is there to support you as you pursue your fitness goals, whether it's like me. I had to drop a considerable amount of weight. I was deeply unhealthy at 248 pounds. TrueMath Fitness got me down to 190. It's wild. I weigh less now than I did in high school. And TrueMath Fitness helped me achieve those goals by setting out a plan that made the most sense for me. Whether you like personal training the way that I have grown to love it, whether you enjoy the group classes. I've certainly taken group classes at True Math Fitness as well. They're very, very effective and efficient. 40 minutes, whether you work out in the morning, the afternoon, or after work. True Math Fitness has all manner of great classes that their exceptional coaching staff will help you work through. And of course, if you just want to sign up for membership and use their open gym, you can do that as well. TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free. So who are you most excited to see play in the preseason? Just generally. Doesn't have to be Chicago on Saturday. It could be, next Saturday in Minnesota. It could be at home at Nissan Stadium when the Titans have their final preseason game against the Patriots. Who are you most excited to see play in the preseason? And I've gone both back and forth on this a couple of times. There's not just one answer. I think that Kyle Phillips, I don't think he's going to play a ton in the preseason, but I think he's going to be a fascinating player to watch. I assume they're going to have him out there fielding punts and kicks. At least they should, as they try and determine the returner competition and returner situation. Famously, Kyle Phillips struggled to hang on to the football last year. Is that something that has been improved is that something that's been improved on since his rookie season? You might be cautious with Kyle Phillips. They may be scared that his shoulder is going to blow up again. I don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Phillips, but I am intrigued to see him play. And it's hard for me to not just go to both quarterbacks. The answer to me is both quarterbacks, right? I'm equally excited to see Levis and Willis play. But since we have already played for you a clip of Malik Willis, then I'll default to Will Levis, who we talked to on the radio show this past Friday. You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been awesome. About 2 weeks into, camp right now. And it's at the point where we almost got, everything in, So,
yeah.
It's a lot of just remembering all the stuff we have in and executing, and now getting into situational type stuff with the 2-minute and everything. So, it's really exciting. I've been having a lot of fun.
You have been able to do the thing that we hear coaches talk about the most. Stacking days at this point. You feel like you've put together, and I know conditions out here a little different today and seem to be, just from our vantage point, we're looking at a very far distance, I would say. So I don't want to take too much away from things that I might have seen or not seen, but it seems like you have been able to stack some days consecutively here, and it seems like you're getting some good opportunities.
Yeah, that's the only way to get more opportunities. It's the only way to, stand out, is just to day after day come in and continue to do your job. Today is one of the days where I feel like it wasn't up to my standard, regardless of what the conditions were, But, I feel like I've had a really good week, and having those days in a row, stringing those days in a row, gives me confidence too as well. So, just got to come in every day, clean slate, forgetting how the day previously went, but it's really important.
So that is Will Levis.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm petting my cat, but not in the sexual sense.
Well, I'm glad you got to pet your cat, but I'm also glad that you asked me who I'm excited to see this preseason.
I sure did, Bert. Why don't you tell me?
You always ask my opinion. For me, it's the inside linebacker position. I feel like that's the position they invested the most free agent capital into. It's also the position that they haven't seen the best draft pick fruition, right? They drafted Monty Rice in the 3rd round, brought in Chance Campbell 2 years ago in 22, and neither of those guys really panned out, which caused them to go out and get Azeez Al-Shaair, go out and get Ben Neiman, go out and get Luke Gifford. So I'm kind of like Oprah. For the preseason games, like, you get some snaps, you get some snaps, you get some snaps. Even the undrafted cat, Otis Reese, he got some lip service from Vrabel at the press conference. And
OTIS.
for me, for an undrafted free agent to get lip service from Vrabel in arguably the deepest, we don't know who's going to do what position on the roster, that means something. I expect this to be a heated race, and we really get to find out now if Jack Gibbons' practice habits match what he can do on the field. Because the big knock on the dude is his athletic limitations. It's nothing about what he sees on the field. It's about him being able to get in the right spot, right? So can somebody else put themselves in a better position by having those athletic traits? I think there's a ton of storylines on this defense.
No, for sure. And I think that I actually talked, it's funny you bring up Neiman and Gifford. I actually talked to Bobby King, the inside linebackers coach, about them today. Neiman was the starting, I don't know if you caught any of Cosell earlier in the week, but Neiman was the starting nickel linebacker for the Chiefs and for the Cardinals. So it's, him as depth is reassuring. Al-Shaair is like a legit player. I think that not Chance Campbell, I'm mixing my white inside linebackers. Jack Gibbons is somebody who they trust to put himself in the right position based on knowing what's going on, not to recover with the kind of recovery speed that, for example, Monty Rice might have him beat out on, right? Like, and I used the example of Will Compton the other day, not because Will is not anything athletically. I mean, he's an NFL athlete and he played for 9 years on a roster, the whole year 10 thing, whatever. But Will consistently put himself in a position to know where to be, to know multiple positions, to play special teams, even as he got older, and to continue to provide that value to allow him to last 9 years in the NFL. Gibbons is an undrafted rookie free agent. Will was as well. Those stories are all over the league at a variety of different positions, and it's about who the coaching staff trusts. And it seems at this point, we'll see what the preseason bears out, but it seems at this point they trust Gibbons slightly more than they do Monty. I don't think it's like they just can't. Monty can't be trusted. It's not a Jamarco Jones situation where he's swinging on his teammates after the play and shit like that. It's I think it's just, can I trust you to be in the right spot? Can I trust you to know the playbook? Okay, you know it better than this guy. Let's ride.
You've been hanging out with me too much. You made a joke there and you didn't even know it.
Well, yeah, but the difference between you and me is you make jokes intentionally and then laugh at your own jokes to cover up how bad the jokes are.
I'm not going to laugh at your joke, but you did say, see how the preseason bears out. Well, we're going to find that out this Saturday.
Get out of here.
Oh, that's the wrong button.
Fix it. Robert Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, 6 to 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone with the morning show crew. Yes, Frank is in here. She's very upset because this is about 8:30, 8:45. This is when she typically gets fed. So we are pushing the limits at this stage. So dinner time is on the horizon. That's why the angry chirps have started in the background. Either way, players that I'm most excited to see, the quarterbacks. It's an easy one for me to nominate. Will Levis, they're talking about how he has been, to that point, stacking days. Did not get any second string reps this week. That was reserved for Malik Willis, who I am fully anticipating to start the preseason game. Let's wrap things up with a weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back the most in sports this week? It's going to be a familiar face. We'll let you in on that here in just a second. Right after I remind you that the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry are who present the primetime show. Not only do they present the primetime show, but most importantly, they protect you when it comes to your constitutional rights, particularly your constitutional right to be a father. The law offices of Amanda J. Gentry have practiced in Tennessee family and criminal courts in 35 counties across this great state. That's why wherever justice demands is a slogan that you can take to heart. AmandaJGentry.com is where you go to find out about her team, about Amanda herself, and about all the different ways that they can make sure that you are protected where your constitutional rights are concerned. AmandaJGentry.com. All right, so who needs to bounce back most in sports this week? I'm going to make it real simple. The answer is A.J. Brown.
My boy Smitty. Hey, y'all. Smitty's so cold, y'all. Smitty's so cold, y'all.
Hello? Yes.
That boy so cold, fool.
You said, okay. Alright.
Devin. Alright, guys. I think I gotta go. Yeah. I'm okay, though. I just got my wisdom tooth removed. I'm alright, man. I'm okay. Schmitty. Alright. I gotta go. Alright. I love y'all. I love y'all. Okay. Okay. Y'all love me? Okay. 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 No. Y'all better love me too. Okay. Bye-bye.
A.J. Brown on Instagram Live post-op. It never fails to entertain. This man got his wisdom teeth pulled, immediately pulled out the camera and got on live. And Devontae Smith is in the comment section. Fam, get off live. Right? That phone call of his driver, probably somebody with the Eagles organization being like, hey, get him off his phone. He's doped up. You guys, I'm sure, will remember the post-op knee surgery where A.J. Brown, on a much, much longer video, did not have anybody there to tell him to get off live at the time. It was off season. He had, I think, both knees scoped if I remember the extent of the procedure, was clearly drugged up on pain meds, literally still in his hospital bed, having a nurse take care of him post-op and just zonked out of his mind. So it's good there that Devontae Smith was there to make sure that A.J. Brown had somebody to tell him, hey, dope, get off the ground. A.J. Brown needs to bounce back. Oh, well, I'm sure he'll bounce back just fine. But as far as his social media habits, at least he's not John Morant. It's going to do it for us tonight on the Primetime Show. It's going to do it for us this week on the Primetime Show. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys in Chicago. Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff will begin at 9 a.m. because it's a noon kick. So Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, I think Kayla Anderson is going to be on as well, and myself. I'll be in Chicago. The rest of the crew will be back there in the studio, and we'll get you going 2 hours before kickoff. Then I'll head to the stadium, and Jimmy Wyatt and I will be in the booth with Mike Keith, Coach Mack, Rep Bryan, and the rest of the squad, getting you ready for the Titans kickoff against the Bears. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. We'll be back Sunday night to talk about it right here on A to Z Sports Primetime.
Are you surprised to hear that?
Certainly not. The first year we took it to the limit. And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
It's been 20 years since then. We haven't been too strong in the last few years.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.